All right, all right, all right. Oh wait, I gotta get my little guy. Give me a second. Give me a second for little guy. There he is. Okay, cool. I think it's just more hands today. I think it's just more hands today. I feel like I didn't solve the fist yesterday. Almost like let's do some more of that, but I think it's fine. I think it's specific enough. We can spend a couple hours on a different hand pose. Great. I have this reference off to the side with a bunch of hands rotating around the same in the same pose. It's just this, I'll show you. This is the reference today. It's just a bunch of angles on the same thing. Don't know why I'm going so mannequinized today. Maybe just in the warm-up. Could also be nice to do some artist studies today. Some master studies, if you will. I think we'll do that once we're like warmed up. I have an artist or two whose hands I'd like to copy. There we go. Hand 1. It's starting. It's beginning. It's always when you draw a circle, when I draw a circle, and I feel like I'm the worst artist on the planet. Because I'm like, I've been drawing for this long and I still can't draw a circle. That's crazy. And then you can go, oh, like that's a difficult thing to do. Well, but I've been training for long enough that I should be able to do difficult things to do. Especially this one that I've been practicing a lot. Because I'm not that far off from being able to draw a circle. And 2. Look, he can't do it. He can't do it. Spends 10 years practicing. He can't do it. It's like that, or whenever I try to draw anything from imagination. Which is a lot of the time. It's a lot of the time. And I just go like, I can't believe I still can't do this. Let me try that one again. Ball should have been bigger. Or hand should have been smaller. All right. All right. Hands 3 and 4. Oh, give me a second. I need to take a quick break here. All right, back very quickly. Nobody picked up. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay, cool. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. That hand didn't have 6 fingers for a quick moment there. Nobody needs to know. Okay, that's a tricky one. Also because like all of this is obscured by the ball that the person is holding, so I actually don't know what this part of the hand looks like. Cool. I want to take a little tiny break from these and then do some artist studies. Huh? Give me a second. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna find some, and now we put on this disclaimer. we're gonna find some Araceli hands, some night sang hands. To study. Also still can't draw horizontal lines. All right, anyway, anyway. Night saying Araceli is one of those people who've just been drawing forever, I think. And so she's like pretty young, but she's just still crazy good at drawing. I've also recently been recommended to try drawing a little subtler, a little less whoa, and a little more just like solid, a little more subtle, and I think Araceli is really great for that as well. So this is like hey, this is Julia. Didn't have an account, couldn't write anything. Okay. Hello. Hope I'm having a good time. I am. How are you? And then the big thing I want to nail down for these studies. All right, at school, drawing before class starts. Nice. Getting in the hours. I want to nail down just how simple these hands get. I think part of what makes Araceli's hands so appealing is that the fingers are just like appealing, tapering rectangles. Oh, do I have any pro tips for not getting overwhelmed by the fingers? Dude, like the basic one is grouping, right? You know about grouping. Grouping makes the fingers more appealing. And then like, oh, you can always split them after you've done the grouping. That's one thing, right? And that's probably the biggest tip to not get overwhelmed by the fingers, is just to group them. What else? I'm thinking. Sometimes, depending on the pose, you can like simplify a finger into like 2 segments and then add the 3rd segment later. It doesn't always work. But sometimes it does, and that's just like, it makes them easier to put in. Makes it easier to put in a hand gesture if you're just going for like 2 segments in the beginning. That's something. Yeah, it's just like, and then you know the midden idea, right? Or the double triangle idea. It's just finding a way to lay them in where you don't have to actually draw all of them individually, that works for you at the same time. So then later you can come in and break them up somehow. Right, and then reps. I think that's all of it. Like, don't try to draw the hand perfectly from the beginning, but yeah. Anyway, these 3 I can put up here because they're not actually Araceli studies. And excuse me, but I have to take a quick 5-minute break. I'll be back in a second. It might not even be 5 minutes, but are about to. I will keep having a nice stream. Thanks for checking in. I just had to call my doctor real quick. And that's like one of them timed events that you can't really skip. This break in the hand that I ignored is important, I think. It's kind of this, I think it's a Robert Beverly Hale quote or idea that there's no, or I think I've heard him say it, read him say it at the very least, that there's no concave curves in the human body. So this break in this hand allows you to draw what feels concave without actually drawing like a concave mark, which feels like unnatural. This is like a clear stylization. This you might see in a hand actually. Super subtle, but it makes a difference. And we are studying specifically Araceli today because I think she's really, really good at subtlety. That's the kind of stuff that we want to pick up on. Although, I mean, here there is actually a concave mark. I might have, if I had drawn this hand, I know I would have exaggerated it more, and probably too much is the point. So I have recently been encouraged to try and up the amount of subtlety in my work. I'm gonna try it out. Because that isn't typically like my specialty. This is a good example of a shape that I would never have drawn. Which is why we're studying it, because it's good, and I would never have done it. something like that. A little softer, a little softer. Not that concave. But the reason that works really well is because it's such a simple taper. Such a simple, clear, tapering shape. And simple is almost always better. Especially because simple still allows you to build complex, you know, in aggregate. In the edit, it can be complex. Though it's simple in the cut. There's another one. And another one. And another one. This fist is crazy. I feel like I would never have the courage. But it's really nice, again, because it's such a simplified hand. Like, I'm definitely the type to always do all the knuckles as like individual bumps. But Araceli here just has the courage and the sage wisdom to know that, hold on, this hand is kind of more appealing if I just simplify. Make fewer marks. Why draw many marks when few do trick? Didn't even do the best job of copying it. But the point is this, my friends. Little art babies like me would draw this hand by, or maybe putting in some of the same shapes. But then once we came up to the knuckles here, we'd go, oh, there's a knuckle, and there's a knuckle. I know knuckles. There are 4 of them on the top of the back of the hand. They look like that. And then we'd have this unappealing mess of a fist. Not realizing that we could simplify that away and draw a little bit, just a little bit more like Araceli. Never, always, don't ever draw only 4 of the, don't ever draw more than 1 of the knuckles. Always draw, never draw, and so on and so forth. I really like Ethan Becker's character. It's really funny. It's really funny. Always a nice curve to the gesture of landmarks on the fingers. Be they the first or second or third knuckles. Try to be aware of the gesture that connects them. Very often it'll just be a C curve, but Araceli's getting fancy here with an S curve, and it works really well. Actually a lot of stylization in this hand. But somehow, maybe it's just because the shapes are more appealing, it feels more believable to me. Like this hand here feels like a believable hand. And it might just be that the shapes are so clear and appealingly tapering. That makes it work. Might be the case. Man, that first hand I really butchered, huh? I mean, understandable. It's a tricky hand to draw, but I had the answers right there, and still I butchered it. It's not getting a lot better. Really is such subtle curves involved. Consistency champ. Outperforming 85% of competitors so far on TikTok. That's sad. That's sad. If my TikTok stream is outperforming 85% of competitors, then maybe no art person should be streaming on TikTok. Because it's not like I've been getting any viewers on TikTok. On the streams. All right. There we go. Nope. It's like the littlest bit better now, this hand. After I've worked it for like another 3 minutes. Tricky, tricky. Very elegant. Okay. Let's just do like a couple more of these and then return to trying some from photo reference, where we only have like half the answers. We know the pose, we know the geometry, we don't know the stylization. It's a little bit of like a different game than doing artist studies. No sound detected. Well, there's sound. There's sound. It's a little annoying that it's not picking up the music that I'm listening to. Because I don't want to listen to it like louder than what I do already. That's interesting. This is... I think it's the first dorsal interosseous muscle. That's sort of when you bring your thumb forward like that, it still pushes out from the silhouette a little bit. Okay, and I understand these marks are curving around the thumb to show that it's being pushed in. A lot of angular marks. And then this muscle here. Yeah, this one's really good and a little tricky to study. Again, look how simple the shapes of these fingers are. Just randomly clicked on the stream. Hello, hello, hello. Doing some hand studies at the moment. What I have to the side here is Araceli's drawings, Night Sang. And then I'm just trying to see if I can't learn something from them. We've been doing that for a little bit now, and I think I'm about ready to go back and see if I can apply some of those lessons to some photo studies. Anyway, how are you doing on this fine morning? How we feeling? My studies are so good. Hands scare you? Yeah. Well, so one thing is, it's not so hard for studies to be good, right? It's hard for your own drawings to be good. But I'll take the compliment. I like drawing hands. I think everybody has that phase where hands are like a scary thing, but then like you fill a couple sketchbooks with them and you're kind of fine. Not that I'm like the master of hands, but feels a lot less scary after you put in some reps. Something else I want to do is I did these quick, this one specifically. I did this before studying the Araceli hands, and maybe Maybe I can like optimize it a bit now that I've been there. The hand master. Yeah, that's Araceli for sure. She's really good. I think she's the hand master. I'm like the hand apprentice. Like I enjoy drawing them, but need a couple hundred more hours before it's there, I think. Handmaster sounds kind of wrong. What do you mean? What do you mean? Smash that like button. Good morning. Good morning, Timios. How you doing? I don't like that. Feels a little better. And then what else did we learn? We learned that learn to angle before you learn to round. Classic piece of advice, and it just works. Learn to angle first. Just woke up, getting out of your portrait for the day, then you'll go to the market. Nice. Sounds good. Big goer of markets. I'm good. Just chilling. There you go. That's the amount of joints in a thumb. Not really performing on this one. Well, it happens. Local markets move around from day to day. Way cheaper than supermarkets. Oh, nice. Yeah, you gotta be there. Let's think. Simple, appealing, tapering shapes. Not too many concaves. That's a big point. That was a big, important point. Learn to angle. Learn to angle before you learn to round. That's a big point. What did I do on yesterday's stream? More of the shade my own version of my draw this in your style. It's turning out quite nice. I think. I like it. The way that's going. So that's nice. We developed some of the lore for him. People kept asking, and so at some point I had to say something. What do we have so far? So he's like a tragic hero with ambition as his tragic flaw. Came up in a dystopian sci-fi world, and as a young kid, he found a love for the craft of graffiti. And so he decides that he'll be the best graffiti artist that ever lived. And he decides that he'll stop at nothing to achieve this. So over time, his values drift. He starts replacing parts of himself, human parts of himself, with machine parts so that he can do better graffiti. Maybe he starts stealing other people's art a little bit too much. He starts replacing his guts, his lungs with metal, so he doesn't need a gas mask. He replaces other parts of his body with metal, so he doesn't need to sleep, and he can keep graffitiing forever. And then one day this kid, Shade, he becomes so infatuated with his ambition of becoming the best graffiti artist ever. So blinded by delusions of grandeur that he replaces his own brain with a metal one. No longer human, he mindlessly roams the streets, doing the best graffiti the world has ever seen. But at what cost? That's the lore. That's the lore. And you didn't even know the dude. What do you mean? Appealing, tapering shapes. Learn to angle before we learn to round. Didn't get to know him before he became the lean, mean graffiti spraying machine. And he's just like a bright-eyed kid. He's just, you know, with hopes and dreams. He's just like Ash Ketchum. He wants to be the very best like no one ever was. To do graffiti is his real test. What's his cause? Works better in Pokemon. They have like a 2-step thing. To spray them is my cause. Yeah. And then we be careful. We be careful with those concave marks. Don't do too many of them now. You like tragic lores? Yeah, I like specifically narratives about ambition as like a tragic flaw. So like I'll lift the veil and say that he's quite directly based off of David from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. In case you hadn't figured that one out. It's there now. Like Icarus, yeah. Or David, or that guy from Whiplash. Haven't watched it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I like it a lot. But then again, I like it a lot. Among other reasons, because I'm a pretty ambitious dude. So explorations of what that means in media, I really mess with that. With hands, if you run out of hand poses, you can do a hand holding ball while pointer finger is pointing out. Okay. Why is that a particularly good hand pose? Why is that your that specifically your secret sauce? Just throwing out ideas. Fair enough. It's like give me a second. He can't draw a circle. He can't draw a circle. Exposed. Washed. And then just bring it all together in the second pass, right? Fix it in post. And then we learned today to just be careful with concaves. Not too many of them. They can work in moderation. That's bad. Give me a second. Just do the boring grouping. Nah, ungrouped. Okay. Just looks so whack. I've seen artists before do ungrouped fingers and have it work. It's probably the same as like people who can pull off like a side tuck with their shirt. It's like just some mysterious magic. Who knows? Who knows how you do that? And then I wanted it to like be a Pokeball. If I can remember how to draw one of those. Congrats, now all you can think about is Team Rocket holding a Pokeball and taunting trainers. Welcome to the club. I mean the same mind space. Yeah. That was the sort of the immediate association. from your prompt. What was I drawing? I was drawing this hand over here. And I got a little bit distracted. Goal is clear, appealing, tapering shapes with subtleties of good hand anatomy. That's the goal. What kind of art do I draw? Oh, stylized, comic like stylized. This guy's the current project. He's based off this guy whom I also drew. I haven't drawn this in your style. Go and participate. Draw this guy. Post him on Instagram. Another recent project. I'm not gonna leave the I'm not gonna leave my drawing software, but I can open some files for you. This fan art project, League of Legends fan art skin project, but you know it's like lined and stuff, so it's like comic-y. It's comic-like, all of it. Sometimes I trend a bit anime, but that's like as like a hobby sort of thing. It's not like what I do, I think. That's like as a, oh, just because that's fun as well kind of thing. So a lot of comics influence. Fingers are a little long. Okay, let's look at the study I did. Let's look at the actual hand it came from. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Like this concaveness to the breaks, that's something I add. And Roselli, she doesn't do that. There's straight lines connected at the breaks. Okay. You prefer drawing anime, you're probably a better cartoon and a decent job with animals. Practicing your eye right now. Oh, what do you mean practicing your eye? Oh, I see. Your eyes. Yeah, no, for sure. Nice. I like drawing anime. It's fun. You gotta stay focused to make sure that you're like practicing fundamentals alongside it. Because anime is one of those art styles that actually you need really, 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 really strong fundamentals to do it well. But that's not like necessarily to a beginner's eye, that's not necessarily very clear. But it's very much the case. So like your perspective, practice your measurements across the face when you build your face. Make sure that your lines are in line with your nose, with your mouth, that everything is like good and placed in perspective. Because that's really important with anime, but it's harder to see that it's important with anime. I stopped numbering these. Maybe we should number them. Also, we could keep counting from yesterday. 14. Because then the number's gonna be high, and that's cool. Do we count the studies? Do we count the studies? We have to, right? We have to. Cool. Sort these out a little bit. $27, so this would be 28. $29, $30. I'm not going to count my diagram here. Cool. Another one. Still have some time. Just imagine that they're all holding Pokeballs. Makes the stream more entertaining, I think. I think it improves the quality of the stream if you just pretend like every one of these orbs is a Pokeball. Cool. That's just about that hand. And number 33 in 2 days. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. But we're trying our hardest with every hand. So hopefully we'll see progress over time. Important that step down in the knuckles for the little finger. Long fingers, long fingers. Yay, someone to ban. Okay, here we go. All right. Wait, there's two? No, we got it. We got it. Just those bots. The hammer of justice struck. The ban hammer. Yes, yes, yes. And then I think we can exaggerate the tension in how this hand is holding the ball. What Pokemon is it? Sylveon. That's a Sylveon type Pokeball. Now we're going to be drawing like a Groudon type Pokeball. Look at this. That's the type of Pokeball that contains like a Groudon. Very sophisticated choice. Yeah, well, in terms of what's the human Pokemon breeding, Vaporeon is the most compatible. That's not the wording. I forget what the wording is. That's the meme. That's the meme. And I don't say it, they say it. They say it, I don't say it. Can't believe I went there. Everybody goes there, man. It's all over the internet. And has been for like a while. And I don't say it, they say it. I'm losing it. I swear I had the Trump for a little while. Huge. Huge. Okay, now I'm playing too much again. This is like a Jacob hand. That was not the point of today. We weren't supposed to draw Jacob hands. We were supposed to draw subtle and good hands. Well, hands that are good because they're subtle. Not because I find like the stylization appealing. Well, touche, both. Fighting my own words. This is 35. They were supposed to be subtle, and I should find the stylization appealing. Let's try that one again to wrap it up. Bring the far knuckle in closer. I don't think we got it. I don't think this one is it. But it is the last one that I have time for. All right, well, that's going to be about it for today. About 20 hands in 2 hours, 10 hands in an hour. That's an average of 6 minutes per hand. That's fine. That's that's okay. We're trying our best. All right. Cool. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Come back anytime. See you guys.